Happy New Year, guys. 2025 is finally here. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the success in 2025. Appreciate each and every single one of you that's subscribed to the channel, that finds my content useful, and that's following me on my journey and support me on the way. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, 2025 has been the year that we've been waiting for, the year that we've been building for, the year that we've been prepping for. And this is the year that we can't mess things up. So I'm going to look at how things are going to plan out this time, how things could potentially play out for the Bitcoin chart, because markets rhyme, they never repeat, guys. Something's going to change this year. What could that be? Could it be a dump off at the start of January and then a pump at the inauguration? We're going to go through a few different scenarios. I've got each and every single one of your altcoin requests, and then I'm bringing back the Bullseye Portfolio, guys. Build phase is nearly back again, and I've got a couple of AI plays that I'm going to be adding. 1st of January 2025, and you can see the market's looking pretty weak today, between 5 and 10% to the downside on average between the altcoin market. You've got a few players here. AI16Z, virtual. You can see, guys, this is the shift in narrative that I talk about, the shift and the rotation between liquidity, between the crypto market. It's meaning that we haven't got full liquidity in the market where it's got confidence that we've got a break of total 3, and then we could surge for all of the altcoin market, showing that liquidity is being sucked out of one narrative and being pushed into another narrative. When it's being pushed into the other narrative, then the other narrative is being pulled back. So it's a shift of rotation of capital from one area to another area. That's what's happening at the moment. We want a full confirmation of alt season. Once we get a full confirmation of alt season, you'll see everything's going to be green. It's not there yet. So we can look at the fear and greed within the market. That's what we're going to do next. How fearful is the market at the moment? How fearful was the market? Last month, we were in extreme greed. Now, when we're in extreme greed, you know what happens, guys. When we're in extreme greed, every single time, we need some kind of a cool off. We need to look at what time that we are in the market and identify what kind of cool off that would look like. And that's what we're going to do next on the Bitcoin chart. So you can see we've cooled off onto 66 at the moment. What does that look like on the Bitcoin chart? This is the Bitcoin chart, and this is the daily. So current price is 93,306. And I've been talking about this for a long time on this channel now, which is this bearish divergence on Bitcoin. It needed some kind of a cool off. So we're looking like we're having a pullback now. We're having a pullback now. How deep would this pullback look? Stick our fib on there from this swing low to its swing high. And then what are we looking for? Golden 618. Golden 618, clues look left. Does that coincide with any build up of price action? Take this off. Clues look left. You've got resistance, 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 resistance. So it's here, 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 here. So that you would expect to come back and test support. Is it going to come back to the 618? We talk about these guys, gaps. This is a lack of a build up of price action. When you've got a lack of build up of price action, you've got no support, you've got no resistance to fall back on. So if you get a break and a close below that support area, you're likely to get a surge to the downside. If you get a surge to the downside, where's the next build up of price action? It's this previous resistance, also the golden 618. So potentially this could be the pullback that we've been waiting for before we get another surge in Bitcoin, and then the rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins, from USDT into altcoins, from other assets around the world into more speculative assets like crypto. And then that's when you'll see the big total 3 break, which is going to indicate alt season for me. People have been calling alt season for weeks now, guys. I want a break and I want a close of total 3 before I get that confirmation of alt season. Then the Bitcoin dominance, guys. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's playing out similar to what we expected. We expected a pullback here, we expected a lower high here, and then a surge to the downside. Now, one of two things can happen here, depending on how the market plays out. And remember, guys, the markets rhyme, they never repeat. So we can look at clues, clues look left. We can look at clues of what's happened previously to find out and help identify what's likely to happen going forward. However, if we get a big spike in Bitcoin, or if we get a dump in Bitcoin that's less of a dump than what the altcoins are, then you're likely to see another spike in dominance. If you get another spike in dominance, that is going to hit the altcoin market hard. So if you see Bitcoin dropping, any kind of capitulation event, you'll see the altcoins capitulate a lot harder. So it's going to be a good indication to find out whether we put a new higher high in here on the Bitcoin dominance, because ultimately we want to drop this support level all the way down here, and that's going to signal alt season for us. So the couple of things that we can get, a couple of indications that we can get to signal alt season. I want a break and I want a close above the previous all-time high of total 3. I want to drop this support and dominance, take out this previous higher low, and then this is the dollar. I want a big drop in the dollar. Big drop in the dollar. That's signaling people are coming out of dollar, having confidence to go into speculative assets, going into the crypto market. The next thing that we're going to look at is the others, which is the whole of the crypto market cap, excluding the top 10. So the reason why we're looking at this, guys, is because it's the rotation of risk, the rotation of capital. You look at Bitcoin for the front runner. Look at Bitcoin for the front runner. It leads the market. It breaks its all-time high first. Then we can look at other clues to give us indications for things like alt season, break out the total 3. Then you can look at others in comparison to total 3 and find out how much that's lagging. You can see, guys, people have got more confidence in the top 10 cryptos at the moment. We can tell that because we've tested the all-time high. Outside of the top 10, we haven't tested the previous all-time high. Once we get a break and a close above that, that's it signaling anything outside of the top 10 is really running hard. That's going to signal a confirmation that we've got alt season. Then you can look at Ethereum, guys, because we talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the biggest player within the whole of the crypto market cap by a long shot, but Ethereum's the second biggest. You can see when you look at the Bitcoin chart, look how long ago Bitcoin broke its all-time high. Look how far away Ethereum is lagging. So people that think that the crypto bull runs over, why hasn't Ethereum put an all-time high? Why hasn't Total 3 put an all-time high? Why hasn't the others put in an all-time high? What about AVAX? You can see how far behind AVAX is. It's all in accordance with risk, guys. AVAX is a lot riskier than Ethereum. AVAX is a lot further down than Ethereum. Chainlink as well, guys. You can see Chainlink. Look how far away Chainlink is from its previous all-time high. The rotation hasn't come out of Bitcoin. The rotation hasn't come out of dollars into other speculative assets, which are more risk, which give you more gains. And next up, it's going to be the Bullseye Portfolio. So anybody that's new to this channel, you probably don't recognize this. Anybody that's been from this channel for a while now, apologies you haven't seen this for a while. But to be fair to me, I was showing this more when it was in a loss, and I was showing it when it was in a loss because that's the strategy. That was the build phase, and that was the window where I'd said that that's where I'm adding altcoins. That's where I'm adding risk to the portfolio, just $50 and $50 with the two simple rules that I was only allowed to average my position down a maximum of 4 times, and that I was never allowed to average my position up on any altcoin. So I had that build window. Once everything was in profit, that means unfortunately I can't average my position up. The window is shut. So that's why you haven't seen much of the portfolio. But even though the rest of the crypto market cap has dropped substantially as far as altcoins are concerned over the last few weeks, the Crypto Bullseye Portfolio stood to the test of time. $1,354.63 in profit, 29.8% in profit. So am I going to be adding to this today? I am going to be adding to this today. There's a couple of picks that I'm going to be showing you. AIOZ. You can see first and foremost, we'd put a pivot level in here and we'd had an extension up here to the 1-2-1. Once we got a reaction from the 1-1, you're likely to get a pullback. How far are you likely to get a pullback? We can add our fib on here from the swing low to its swing high and look to find out where the 618 is. Firstly, the 618 is here. Clues look left. Is there any sticking points? Sticking point, yes. That build of a price action here, this big build of a price action here. This 618, where we're nearly at now, looks good to me. In fact, it looks good enough to add to the Bullseye Portfolio. So there's a tick there, $50 going into the Bullseye Portfolio, AIOZ. So what happens if it pulls back to the 786? That means that I'm allowed to average my position down. If it comes back down here, I can buy it at 57 cents. So it's currently at 73 cents. If it pulls back, I can buy it at 53 cents. So that's the method in the madness, guys, because that brings your average in the middle here. Can't keep building and keep building and keep building. Some things will go to zero and you can keep building to zero. So that's why you need to put a rule in there. If you've got a strategy, you should have a strategy. If you've got a strategy, you need to put a rule in there that you can only average down a certain amount of times. Otherwise, you could potentially start riding the bad one all the way to zero. Next one's fetch. So with fetch, we'd probably had a reaction. What's this reaction here? From its swing high to its swing low. We'll see if there was any sticking points. This was the big sticking point, guys, the big 382. And you could see we'd had support. We come down, rejection. Got rejection, rejection, rejection. You've come up, you've broke your head through there. You've managed to get a break and a close. But what happened? We come back down to support. We've dropped support. So We've had a reaction from the 382. Let's stick a trend line on here. You've got a trend line. You've got a break of trend. See, this is looking pretty weak. You've got a break of trend. You've also got a bear pennant. So how can you play this? This bear pennant here, you have a break to the upside or you break to the downside. It doesn't look too great for me, to be honest with you. There's too much indecision. You're likely to come back down here. If you break this previous swing low, you're coming to test this previous low here. That is from where price action is now, 42% to the downside. So unfortunately, guys, Fetch potentially could do this. Bam, 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 bam. But the charts are telling us it's not likely. We've got near. See, near's holding support at the moment. You've got this previous. Look, guys, remember this. Clues look left. I don't say it for no reason. Clues look left. How did price react previously with this level? How many times did we get a reaction? Is it likely to get a reaction going forward? Let's count them. So you've broke through here. Then you've come back down. It's tested support. It's not just tested support, but you've had this big wick, which has pushed price back up to that support level. Then you've got another support. You've got another support. You've broken down, broken up, resistance, resistance, and a big build up of price action here. So this looks like a strong support to me, near protocol. I'm not adding near because I've got near already in the bullseye portfolio. I can't average my position up, so I'm not allowed to buy near. But if it's something that I didn't have in there, I'd be quite happy to add a small allocation in there today. Next one, what's this? Tectum Emission Token, TET. I've never heard of this one, but that's holding a strong support at the moment. You can tell that. You can tell that here. Once, twice, you've broken through, resistance, resistance, come through, support, support, and then we're pretty much there now. So from where price is now to this trend line, doesn't look much, but it's a drop of 20%. If I could get that 20% cheaper, I'd be more interested. If I could get it down here, I'd be more interested. It should come back down and test this level because it's tested it so many times previously before. You'd expect that to act as a support and a confirmation support. Next, AI tech. This one looks a little bit choppy to me, guys. I'm probably not interested until I get a break and a close above this level here. Until I get a break and a close above this level here. So that's sitting at 0.15078. Price is currently sitting at 0.09108. It's a bit choppy for me, that one. A bit early for me as well, as far as the chart's concerned. XCN. Get the full chart up. Absolute gamble. Absolute gamble, this one. You've got this big, massive, huge build-up of price action. The problem is with this build-up of price action, let's measure it from its bottom to its top. Doesn't look much. 806% from its bottom to its top. So if you're buying anywhere in this range, that could completely chop you out. Wait till you get some kind of a directional bias. Ideally, you want a bam, break, close, bam. Then you'll really start seeing a surge. Once you get a break out of this big accumulative phase, you'll start really seeing a surge. Cash. This is something that I'm going to be adding to the Bullseye portfolio today. The reason why is because it's come back down. It's hitting its 786. It's not only hitting its 786, but it coincides with this previous build of a price action where it's hit once, twice, 3 times support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance. We know that's a sticking point for price. So I know that once price comes back down to this level, $2.66, that's something that I'm going to be adding to the Bullseye portfolio. So what have we got? We've got a cash. Got Tau next. Not enough price action for me here. You can get rejection at the 382 retracement. You've got this build up of price action here, which should be a sticking point as support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. We've had 8 touches on this. Once we come back down here, is this going to be a 9th confirmation touch and then any kind of a bounce? Let's wait and see, guys. Weave next. Just stick a trend, stick a fib on there. Is there any big sticking points? Come down all the way, tested your big 786, had a reaction from the 786, broke the 618. We're coming back down to test the 786. So I'm not really interested in this one at the moment, guys. You can stick a trend line on there, simple trend line. You can see we've probably had a break, we've probably had a close, and we're probably having a retest. So not for me, that one, guys. If you did find this useful, be a part of our community. Help grow this community, guys. Share the content with your friends if you've got any friends that you might find that useful, and help me build this channel. I want to try and get to 10,000 by the end of March. So help me do that, guys. Share with your friends, give it a like, leave in the comments what you want me to cover next. And I'll see you guys in the next one.